Derek Chauvin sentenced to 22.5 years in prison for murdering George Floyd. 396 days after murdering George Floyd in the middle of a Minneapolis intersection, Derek Chauvin has been sentenced to 22.5 years in prison. Chauvin's sentencing comes 8 weeks after he was found guilty on manslaughter and murder charges in Floyd's death. On May 25, 2020, Derek Chauvin, then a Minneapolis police officer, killed George Floyd when he knelt on his neck for more than 9 minutes. The brutal murder sparked protests around the world. According to Wikipedia, Derek Michael Chauvin is an American former police officer who was convicted of the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Chauvin was born on March 19, 1976. His mother was a housewife and his father was a certified public accountant. When he was 7, his parents divorced and were granted joint custody of him. Chauvin attended Park High School in Cottage Grove, Minnesota, but did not finish and later obtained a GED certificate. He earned a certificate in quantity food preparation at Dakota County Technical College and worked jobs as a prep cook at McDonald's in a South Metro buffet restaurant. He served in the United States Army Reserve from 1996 to 2004, including 2 stints in the military police between 1996 and 2000. Chauvin joined the Minneapolis Police Department in 2001. While on the force, he was involved in 3 police shootings, one of which was fatal. Chauvin had 18 complaints on his official record, 2 of which ended in discipline, including official letters of reprimand. On September 4, 2017, Chauvin was among officers responding to a complaint by the mother of 2 young children. Videos from the scene were said to show Chauvin hitting a 14-year-old black boy in the head with a flashlight so hard he required stitches, then holding him down with his knee for nearly 17 minutes, ignoring the boy's complaints that he couldn't breathe. On May 25, 2020, Chauvin was one of 4 officers involved in arresting George Floyd on suspicion of using a counterfeit $20 bill at a market and was the field training officer for one of the other officers involved. Security camera footage from a nearby business did not show Floyd resisting the arrest. The criminal complaint stated that, based on body camera footage, Floyd repeatedly said he could not breathe while standing outside the police car, resisted getting in the car and fell down. He went to the ground face down. While Floyd was handcuffed and lying face down on the street, Chauvin knelt on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes. After Chauvin placed his knee on Floyd's neck, Floyd repeatedly said, "I can't breathe, mama," and "please." For part of the time, 2 other officers knelt on Floyd's back. During the final 2 minutes, Floyd was motionless and had no pulse. Several bystanders took videos which were widely circulated and broadcast. Floyd was born on October 14, 1973, in Fayetteville, North Carolina, to George Perry and Larsenia Sissy Jones Floyd. He had 4 siblings. His great-great-grandfather Hillary Thomas Stewart Sr. was born as a slave but acquired his freedom in the Civil War. While Stewart was in his 20s, he acquired 500 acres, 200 hectares, of land but lost it to white farmers who used legally questionable maneuvers that were common at the time in the South. When he was 2, after Floyd's parents separated, his mother moved with the children to the Cooney Homes public housing, known as Bricks, in Houston's 3rd Ward, a historically African-American neighborhood. Floyd was called Perry as a child, but also Big Floyd. Being over 6 feet tall in middle school, he saw sports as a vehicle for improving his life. Floyd attended Ryan Middle School, and graduated from Yates High School in 1993. While at Yates, he was co-captain of the basketball team playing as a power forward. He was also on the football team as a tight end, and in 1992, his team went to the Texas State Championships. On May 25, 2020, Derek Chauvin, then a Minneapolis police officer, killed George Floyd when he knelt on his neck for more than 9 minutes. The brutal murder sparked protests around the world. Derek Chauvin sentenced to 22.5 years in prison for murdering George Floyd.